नाज़रीन, अमेरिकन उर्दू टीवी के प्रोग्राम शब-ओ-रोज़ ह्यूस्टन के एक और एपिसोड में आपको खुश आमदीद और दिशान मिर्जा की जानिब से आदाब व तस्लीमात। गुज़िश्ता दिनों ह्यूस्टन के म्यूजियम डिस्ट्रिक्ट में वाक़े एशिया सोसाइटी टेक्सास सेंटर के ज़ेर एहतमाम बाइपॉक बुक फेस्टिवल का इनेकाद किया गया। इस फेस्टिवल की खास बात ये थी कि इसमें एक नशिस्त का एहतमाम किया गया जिसमें दीगर बैकग्राउंड से ताल्लुक़ रखने वाली प्ले राइटर्स शख्सियात के साथ साथ हमारे अपने ग्रेटर ह्यूस्टन की मारूफ प्ले राइटर और थिएटर प्रोड्यूसर मोहतरमा तज़ीन ज़ाहिदा साहिबा को भी मदऊ किया गया। आइए इस नशिस्त की झलकियां मुलाहिजा करते हैं।
Okay, so we've got Marissa Castillo, Shawn Renee Rigon, Tazeen Zahida, and our moderator is Errol Anthony Williams.
I wonder why the grass is green and why the wind is never seen. Who taught the birds to build a nest and told the trees to take a rest? And when the moon is not quite round, where can the missing piece be found? That always gets everyone's attention. My name is Errol Anthony Wilkes, and welcome to Curtain Call. We'll be talking to three rather talented playwrights today. And before I go on and talk more about myself or anything, because it's not about me today, it's about these really talented folk. I'm going to start down at the end, down there, Marissa Castillo. Okay, please introduce yourself and tell these wonderful people what you're about.
Hi, my name is Marissa Castillo. I am a co-founder of Theatrics, a Latinx theater company here in Houston. And we have just started producing and writing our own work as a collaboration between the five of us within the group. I have a BFA in original works, and so I studied playwriting, directing, and acting, what I call the Holy Trinity, because they all inform each other. And within that, I facilitate the actual work that is created by Theatrics.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tazeen Zahida, and I'm probably the only Houston playwright looking like me. A South Asian Muslim woman playwright is about the maximum number of juxtapositions in one statement. And I created this theater company called Tazeen Productions to produce my own plays because no one else would. And we have been doing that bravely for the last 7 years in Houston, and we create all original Urdu and English plays, and I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Hello, I am Shawn Renee Rigon. I am from Houston, and I received my BFA in playwriting in dramaturgy from University of Houston. I typically write Houston stories. I write about our history with the focus of Black women. I go through each decade and examine the life that I feel like these stories that have never been told. And I make it my personal mission to give these women a voice. And so I've had plays, I wish I had my own theater company, but I've been able to have my shows produced by the Alley, Stages, Record Room, and I just had a show closed in Los Angeles that was about a Houston story, but we'll get into that a little bit. It's important because we hold the research and the history. So as when a playwright is writing new work, a dramaturg is a person that somewhat sits on side of you and check your work. They're gonna check the dates, they're gonna check that these stories line up, they're gonna check that things make sense. They'll also look at your work and make sure the structure is correct.
You get to know that people are looking for signs of life on different planets. I am looking for signs of another Muslim playwright in Houston. Okay, and if she happens to be a Desi, which is South Asian, and if she happens to be a Muslim, that would be even great. The thing is, the desire to tell my stories that have been neglected, untold, and the constant misrepresentation of people from my community
In the fields with President Thomas and Dolores Huerta. they were creating these pieces with the farm workers, and so that they could educate the rest of the farm workers about the mistreatment that was happening and how to band together. And we've kind of gone back.
The play that I am familiar with for Shawana is We Cordially Invite You. What is it?
You're cordially invited to sit in.
Yeah, tell these folk a little bit about that one.
You're cordially invited to sit in is a play that takes place in Houston in 1960, and it is around the TSU 13. Those were the 13 students who demonstrated the first sit-in here in Houston. And it was, oddly enough, it was a jukebox musical. And so when stages approached me, they asked me if I would do a jukebox musical, and they just wanted it around an event that happened in Houston. And so that particular event always stuck with me. I just didn't know how I could turn it into a musical because of it was such a heavy topic. But when I look back in the 60s and 70s, Curtis Mayfield was writing exactly what was happening in this.
After you finish writing a play, what do you do? We don't want a 2-page dissertation. Just tell us what you do real quickly. What's that guy's name that used to write the little books of Linda Volume? What is it called?
Cliff Notes.
Anybody? Cliff Notes, thank you. Go with Mr. Cliff, okay? All right, let's start in the middle.
First thing, I'll read it out loud, and I'm every character for sure, because you have to do the voices. And then I'll send it to a trusted friend, and that's a playwright, and then I'll have them read it. And then I'll get a group of actors together and have a reading. That's step 1.5.
And that's how you're supposed to do it. Anybody out here writing a play, if you call me, who's not a trusted friend, I'm going to charge you $250 to read the play, and we'll spend an hour together. Anything over that 15-minute increments, it's another $50. And I'm very economically, because most people charge a lot more than that. Okay? Yeah. And one of the things that's annoying, I'm a director, one of the things that's annoying is when you know you're not going to hire me to direct a play, you send your play to me, and then a couple of years later you go, wait a minute, those words sound familiar. You know? And I see somebody that I think is a lesser director. Okay, I'm being egotistical. But anyway, since Shawana answered the question so eloquently, and these other 2 writers are going to say the same thing, or pretty much the same thing, I'm going to ask if one of you folk would love to ask this wonderful panel a question.
My name is Efti, and I'm intrigued to tell us that what makes you choose a certain subject and why?
Yeah. I think the desire to tell a certain story at a certain point in your life, and it's just like that story cannot wait. It has to be told. That's the only thing that's in my mind.
Everybody has a story, but you're the only one that can tell it. I think this, when something kind of bubbles up in you, no one else is going to tell that story. No one else is going to hear that story. It's yours. It's in you. I tell everybody, you can write that story. Anybody can do it. Because you're the only one. And I think that to me is exciting, is that we are the only people who can write these stories. And if we don't tell them, they're lost in our brains until we die.
For me, if I hear a story or I think of a story, and if I've never seen it before, I'll say that story needs to be told, and then I'll sit with it. And if it stays with me for like the next month or 2, strongly, I'll say that story really needs to be told. And then if it kind of falls off, you know, in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna say, oh, maybe it's not developed enough, or maybe it's just not a story that I need to tell.
feel like I'm also struck by the story.
All of us as artists, we struggle with that. And I started out as an actor, and it always tickled me when someone would come up and ask me to be in a show, and I'd say, "What's your budget?"
Money for it. If you're self-producing, finding the space and the time to help bring everything to fruition, but definitely funding.
There, when I was a student at TSU, so that brought back quite a lot of memories. As a matter of fact, they have recently renovated that place, so you guys need to go over there. They do have programs over there that you can go and enjoy.
My mom used to tell me prophet stories, and I always, imagined the entire thing in my head. And somehow I think that I was predisposed to be a playwright from a very early age. I was able to imagine the entire scene that must have happened between Moses and God, and with Abraham and God, and so on and so forth. And when I started reading history books, same thing happening. I could actually feel, Jinnah and Gandhiji and all this stuff. And so the point I'm trying to make here is it's not something that I thought I can attempt to do. It is something that I knew probably the only thing I could do. And I think being bilingual, of course most of immigrants or people who lead their lives in expatriatism like me, we do become bilingual by compulsion. But I come from a long line of bilingual people. And so writing in English and Urdu, my mother tongue, at the same time, only depended on how much each subject matched with the cultural context of that language. And as you said about the challenges of playwriting, and the way you said that she wanted, some very hard realities, which were not as palatable otherwise, to be served, in a way that it would be easier for people to understand that. I wanted to write a play about immigrants and how it is just expected that people come from outside are just they have nothing and they become something when they come to a new country. Sometimes it's the other way in your shows, don't try to understand every word. You're not going to understand every word. And there's something that's great about feeling okay with that. Being okay with not understanding every word and just watching what's taking place. Because if you're focused on understanding every word, the story is not going to hit you like the big show. You're missing out on the big picture.
So far, my shows have just been in English, so I haven't started to write in multiple languages.
People is fabulous, but very on Facebook page, TZ Productions. So I would love to hear from any of you. Thank you.
Yeah, for me, I have a website, ShawannaReneeRavon.com, and then the same for Instagram, Renee Ravon, same on Facebook.
Yeah, you can find me, Marissa Marisi, on social media, and then my theater company at Teatrix, TEATRX.
अस्सलामुअलैकुम। आज मैं यहाँ एशिया सोसाइटी में बाइपॉक बुक फेस्टिवल के एक पैनल था, प्ले राइट्स पैनल फ्रॉम ह्यूस्टन। उस पर मदू की गई थी। अच्छा वक्त गुजरा, बेहतरीन सवालात थे और लोगों ने बहुत दिलचस्पी से सुना। एशिया सोसाइटी टेक्सास जो है वो समझ लीजिए तमाम एशियंस के लिए एक घर की तरह से है, और माइकल ब्यूनिंग जो इसके डायरेक्टर हैं उन्होंने इस जगह को हमारे लिए ऐसे आरास्ता किया है कि हम वी फील राइट एट होम हैं। और जॉनरिया जिन्होंने मुझे इस सिलसिले में इनवाइट किया था, बाइपॉक बुक फेस्टिवल की फाउंडर हैं, उन्होंने मेक श्योर किया कि हम लोग एक दूसरे को पहले से जानते हों, तमाम प्ले राइट्स, और एक दूसरे से अच्छे तरीके से इंटरेक्ट कर सकें। इट वॉज अ ग्रेट एफर्ट एंड अ ग्रेट इवेंट इंडीड। थैंक यू।